Well, there's some good news today for former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert. The Israeli parole board has ruled to release him from prison 11 months early, which means that after serving 16 months out of a 27-month sentence for corruption, the former diplomat will be freed for good behavior. ILTV's Aaron Porras returns with details on this story. Now, Aaron, isn't Olmert still being investigated? How did this happen?
So you're right, he was being investigated for possibly divulging secrets, having been the former prime minister, in a memoir that he is currently compiling. But that was deemed irrelevant towards, for the parole board to consider his parole. And it's not necessarily going to be pushed further beyond this point. As for his early release, it's not yet sure whether or not the prosecution that's investigating him is going to push against that or fight against that. At this time, it seems like they won't, and we know that they advised against it. Though I'll give you the rest of the details in my report.
Sounds good.
Olmert was first charged in what is now known as one of the largest cases of graft in Israeli history. The conviction in March 2014 landed Olmert a 6-year sentence, which was later reduced to 18 months upon appeal. 1 month was then added for obstruction of justice, and then the sentence was extended again by 8 months in 2016 for alleged bribery in the so-called Talansky affair. The total sentence was 27 months. Now, though, the courts have ruled to reduce Olmert's sentence for good behavior, and he could be walking free by the end of the weekend. While prison services are preparing his release, investigators are currently looking into a memoir written by Olmert for allegedly divulging sensitive information. They advised holding off on issuing Olmert's parole until the investigation concludes, or at least to include their findings in the decision-making process. But Olmert denies any wrongdoing, and the parole board has declared that they did not consider the book as a factor in their hearings. It's not yet clear whether prosecutors will attempt to appeal the parole based on their findings, but what is clear is Olmert's elation. Just take it from his lawyer.
מה שהוא אמר לי אני לא אומר לך, אני אומר לך שהוא היה מאוד נרגש, הוא היה מאוד שמח, והוא הרגיש שמה שהוא ביקש אכן מתקיים, וטוב שכך.